guys, it's Jordana from Pretty Killer Podcast, and this is my first episode of 2025. So, welcome back, anyone who is tuning in. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining. I'm so happy that you are here. And to returning guests, I've missed you so much, but let's get into it. So, as some of y'all know, I've been a little bit MIA the last couple months of 2024, just because, and nothing in particular, nothing, like I don't want to podcast anymore. I didn't have content. It was the complete opposite, actually. I have, and I had, and I have a lot of content waiting for you, but I just wanted to kind of go with the idea of rebranding Pretty Killer Podcast. And I say this, not that I want to change anything about what my channel is, what my account is. I'm very happy with what I've created and the places and the things that I've done with this channel and with this show and just with everything in general. But for me, I want to kind of expand Pretty Killer Podcast. I want to not just limit it to a podcast. I want it to be your horror hub where you get news, reviews, haunts, food, records, just anything that's horror related. And I think opening up that part of it will help usher in new horror fans, just new people to the channel. And I'm here for it because I think that we all need to come together right now. I think that having friends, having people to listen to of similar interests, similar opinions and views is a good thing. And it's nice to kind of take yourself out of reality sometimes because reality can be scarier than fiction, as we all know. But I've had some ideas of how I want it to look. I have some ideas of where I want to go. I have personal goals set. I'm just hoping that it conveys. I hope that my ideas just translate out of my brain into real life. So let's hope that that can actually happen. Okay, guys. So now moving into 2025, we have a very long roster of, oops, I apologize. I had opened up my phone to a video. But 2025 has a very long list of horror movies that are coming out. And, like to name a few, we have, a new Insidious movie coming in from the franchise. We have a new Conjuring. We have a Final Destination, Saw. Like we have all of these big name IPs coming in. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited for them. I'm really pumped to see where the storylines are going to go, how they're going to play out. I know that we do have some sequels coming out. We have Megan 2.0. We have a Five Nights at Freddy's sequel coming out, a Black Phone 2. But then, we do have these like kind of unknown named ones coming out, which there's one called Dust Bunny that caught my attention. It has Sigourney Weaver and David Dastmalchian in it. I'm really excited to see what they do with that one. There's not a lot of information given, but still that really piqued my interest, sparked my interest, I guess, because I love David. I think that his performance in Late Night from the Devil last year was top notch. It just shows his range of what he can do, that he can play a lead role. So I'm hoping that he gets more roles, maybe not necessarily like lead roles, supporting roles, but I just think he's such a national treasure to the horror community. So I'm all for it. And then we have Sigourney Weaver, the OG badass, love her so much. So I'm excited to see where that one goes. Let's see what else. Oh, we have Hard Eyes coming out soon, which is a slasher. And I'm all about seasonal slashers, monthly slashers, if you will. So, I mean, we had Thanksgiving come out, which is set in stone every single year you watch it, just along with Halloween, just along with Black Christmas, Jaws for July 4th. But maybe this will be a good newer Valentine's slasher. And it does have Mason Gooding, which we do know from the Scream franchise, which is exciting to see him in a different role, but obviously it's the same movie. So let's see um, if I enjoy his character more in this one than in the Scream franchise. Um, I was about to go into my Scream rant for the recent ones, but I'm not going to, even though we are going, production for Scream 7 is underway. He is back, Jasmine's back, everyone else is signing on. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But um yeah, I'm really pumped for 2025 and all the new movies that are coming out. I'm also pumped for independent releases, like what other movies we're gonna get from our indie horror community, because there was a lot of bangers last year too. And I don't know if y'all checked out my top 10 of 2024, but I did have quite a bit of um, well, I didn't have quite a bit, but I did have more indie than I did mainstream horror movies that came out. Lore made my list. I don't know if anyone has checked that out. It's streaming on Tubi, but that was a horror anthology that I watched last year that I absolutely fucked with. It was so good. The stories were so good. It birthed one of my, well, actually, I want to say it was my favorite kill of 2024. Everyone assumed that it was going to be a Terrifier 3 kill. And I don't even know if I announced it. Terrifier 3, don't get me wrong. Terrifier 3 fucking slaps. Terrifier 3 went there. The shower scene. That's all I have to say. But even with that, you could say the shower scene. You could say the opening scene. And also spoiler, because I'm going to say what they are. If you open a horror movie on a Christmas night, Christmas Eve night, and you butcher those fucking kids, like, kudos to you for being ballsy and doing something like that. But for me, there was this kill in Lore, and one of the segments in the anthology was like this movie theater part, and there was let's say a worker gone wrong type situation, and he uses a popcorn shovel, a popcorn ladle, a popcorn pour enter the bagger. I don't know what to call it, but he utilized that in a kill that literally had my jaw on the goddamn floor. But then afterwards going, fuck yeah, because you guys know I love creativity. I love seeing something different. So this one was chef's kiss in my opinion. But if you have not checked out Lore, please check out Lore. I also had Daddy's Head at number 3, which is on Shudder, and quite divisive, if I must say, because it was either a super yay or a nay. But for me, ending aside, I truly, truly loved what Daddy's Head did. I loved the play on the eye. I loved the storyline, because, so light spoilers for this movie, a boy loses his father. His father was involved with this younger woman, and the mother is not present. So of course, after the dad passes, then the quote unquote right thing to do would be for her to take over and to, like, parent and have sole responsibility of the child. But she, of course, is hesitant. She doesn't know. That's a huge responsibility. And I love that it didn't play off of like, oh, you have to. You can see that there was definite hesitation, that she did not want it. And then you see the relationship grow over this movie while enduring trauma, while enduring pain in different regards, but the same thing. And the way that this movie played out, I think the open to interpretation style really left me happy, because this was a movie that I wanted a happy ending. There's some horror movies I don't want a happy ending. I want, like, it to be a complete silence after the movie. Like, what the fuck did I just watch? Bloodshed, no one survives, like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, where the head's chopped off at the end scene. I want, you know what I mean? Like, I want something as a different ending. And I feel like a lot of people can chalk this up to it was like a lazy ending, but I kind of like what they did with it, because that movie was a very emotional journey, and also visually stunning in the horror department for me. So, definitely check that out. But then, number 2 for me was Late Night with the Devil. I've talked about it enough. I cannot talk about it enough. And also, if Terrifier 3 did not come out this year, it would have been Late Night with the Devil 1, Daddy's Head 2, and then now that I think of it, either Abigail or Oddity would be 3, because they both took me by surprise. They both were amazing. Just like reminiscing about 2024, even though it's literally like 28 days old, we did have some good movies. So 2025 does look promising. Let's see if it delivers in the regard like 2024 did. So now for some of the highly anticipated movies of 2024 that weren't necessarily a miss for me, but just kind of like wanting to avoid the overhyped train, and purchase a ticket for that train. I'd rather be on my own solo caboose, giving honest reviews, because I truly feel like people appreciate that deep down inside. I know that my deciding factor would be someone that I trust for opinions. If like a movie was coming out and I would check in with them, should I wait for streaming or should I go to the theater? I want them to be 1,000% honest, because let's be real, getting out of the house and going into public is hard enough as it is in 2025, and even back in 2024. So there's that. 2, there's money. So, even though streaming can have some really heavy rental / purchasing fees. But again, the point that I'm getting at is it could make a difference, a huge difference, if someone's going to wait to see it at home, wait to go stream it. But then again, when I think about this, and as I'm saying it, we're all different in opinion, so it doesn't truly matter. You could tell me you hated something and I could watch it and be like, holy shit, I wish I would have seen that on the big screen. So I guess take this with a grain of salt. But for me, the ones that were so like top of the list, talked about the most, this movie's gonna literally fuck you to death and then bring you back to life, like those marketing slogans. Best fucking movie of the year, bro. You'll be so fucking scared. Blah, blah, all that. So for me, Nosferatu stands out because it was a really beautifully done movie. I will give it that. I really enjoyed watching it because it was beautiful. The gothic, romantic love story was beautiful. But for me, I wanted it to be bloody. I wanted it to be dark in the regard of like no survivors, like, no mercy. And, someone can argue, yeah, that happened, but I wanted to see more of it and not be so hyper focused on the relationship between the main character and Count Orlok. So that one was good, but I don't think it was it just wasn't that top hit for me. Secondly, and this is going to be super controversial, The Substance. I really enjoyed that movie. I think the message is one that needs to be talked about. It is normal. I'm a female turning, brinking 40. My birthday is next Monday, and it's terrifying. It's exciting. It's motivating. It's great, and I'm thankful for every fucking day I have on earth. But, as we get older and the beauty standards nowadays, it's like you got to look on point. You have to be this to fit into this category, and you need to do this and blah 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 blah. But for me, I just want to feel good in my skin. I want to feel good all around, and that doesn't equal physical attributes. It's just like how I feel internally. But we're getting a little off course on this part. But what I'm trying to say is that I love the female empowerment message. I love what it's saying to beauty standards and women in general. But for me, this movie was way too long. I wish it was an hour and 45 minutes and focused more on body horror and kind of took out some of the dance sequences or the longer played out scenes that I know were there for a purpose, but like I wanted more breast hanging off of the fucking left cheek with, a snaggletooth hanging out. I wanted more of that, I guess you could say. So there's that, but that does not mean I did not appreciate and love The Substance. It's just I did not you know, champion it like everyone else did. But if that is your favorite movie, I'm really, really happy for you. Lastly, for my anti-hype train movies of 2024, for some reason, like the whole possession type, not possession, but like the First Omen and Immaculate. I know that that was number one on a lot of people's lists, but for me, those were another group of misses for me. The First Omen, I truly did not see a point for an origin story, a prequel, if you will. I felt like I saw a lot of the scenes from the original Omen, so it really didn't do too much for me. Performance wise, the lead actress was spot on, fantastic. She was a huge highlight. I remember like looking her up like while we were in the theater. But for me, it felt like it lacked, and I personally didn't think that we needed one. So there's that one. And then Immaculate, Sydney Sweeney was fantastic. Um, but again, it had some moments, but it just really truly did not hit for me like it did everyone else. And not that I'm surprised, they're good movies, but I don't know. That wasn't it for me. But it'll be interesting to see which movies I hype up in 2025 and how they play out. So we shall see. It's a fun game to see which ones you think you're going to love and which ones drop the ball or which ones exceed your expectations. Um, I think a resolution for me this year is not to get super involved in one movie and hyping that one up. I'm also going to avoid trailers because I'd like to have a little more of a surprise when it comes to seeing stuff, which is hard nowadays because people live off of showing everything in a horror movie, showing all like a poker game, showing all their cards, like they're all in. I want to be surprised. Maybe we'll get some marketing like an Abigail would have been, where we don't get anything, and we are pleasantly surprised. Because I still think that if the marketing was done differently for Abigail, and I know that we discussed this in length on the Terrifying 3 pod, shout out Macabre Maddie and Mark Loves Horror. But I still think that if they would have teased a little bit and let it be known that it is kind of like horror geared and some of the names in it, I think people would have checked it out. I truly do. I think we need to have this year of 2025 be leave it to the imagination or leave breadcrumbs and see what that does, because horror right now is flourishing again, like with all the um, award nominations and Demi winning, which is huge. But that's another thing that I guess that we shall see. Getting back into the heart and soul of pretty whoa, if I could say it, that would be magical. Pretty Killer Podcast. Looking into the new year and what is ahead for me is kind of exciting because I have little announcements that I know that I talked about on my socials, but I am now an official creator for Found TV. I am so excited to be a part of that. Found footage is one of my absolute favorite horror subgenres. They have been killing it with their catalogs coming out. So when that opportunity arose, I was like, you know what, I'm all in. Let's do this. So happy to be part of that journey. Happy that they welcomed me into their community. So please keep your eyes out for that. I will be collabing with other Found TV creators with movies that we've watched, lists, all that fun stuff. Also talking to directors, talking to the people that created and took the time to make these pieces, which I've seen a couple this year that are coming out or just recently came out that are bangers. And um, I'm anticipating some sequels, but I'm not going to reveal those secrets quite yet. You'll have to check out future episodes and make sure you check out my posts online for those ones that are coming out, because I rally these. I stand behind these. You know, I put my stamp of approval. I will tell you why I like it, and then hopefully that will ease into your decision if you're going to watch it or if you're not going to watch it. Another platform that I was invited on was Benable, and that's a new one. And that is creators curating lists of activities, daily uses, all that. And just to let everyone know, I finally monetized $2.45 because of a eye cream that I recommended on one of my lists, which is super exciting. So please follow me on those socials. You know, keep a lookout, join new communities. It's always fun to see different avenues of social media and where they could be beneficial in your life, helpful, what have you. And I'm trying to think of the other exciting news that I wanted to talk to y'all about. Oh, I want to focus a lot more on my letterbox. So if you have not followed me on letterbox, please make sure that you are doing so. I want to curate more specific lists, reference guides to movies that you haven't seen, movies that you have seen. And also, if you want to read my reviews, my 100% honest reviews on there, please head over to Letterbox and support me there. But I mean, I wanted to kind of keep this episode short and sweet because I know that I've been MIA. I've missed you guys, but I really just wanted to update you with what I've been doing, what I've been thinking about doing, what the future holds for a Pretty Killer podcast. And I'm always open to interpretation. I'm always open up to opinions and recs from you guys because, you know, as much as I love this and I truly do it for me because I love it so much, I do it for you guys as well. So any ideas of what you'd like to see with the channel, new content that you would like to see, avenues that I haven't done yet, please either shoot me a DM, you know, engage online when I post things. Like, let me know. Let's talk. Let's communicate. I'm for most of you, you know that I speak to on a regular basis or I've spoken to. I love it. I love engaging. I love connecting. So please do not hesitate to reach out. But I just see a lot of bright lights, bright pink neon lights, synthy music, kind of like you're taken back to the 80s, 90s vibes, but like modern. That's the type of feel I'm going for. So slowly we'll be bringing that to life. I'm trying to think what else is going on. GhoulieCon in July. I'm supposed to be going out to Kentucky for GhoulieCon. I don't know if that's going to actually come to fruition, just because of some prior commitments that have been going on. Hopefully I'll be able to still attend and maybe virtual. I'll keep you guys posted about that. I will be returning to Halloween Horror Nights this year. Either way, not that, you know, it matters that there's a huge Terrifier 3 rumor coming through the channels, that it's going to happen. Also, there's huge talks about John Carpenter's The Thing, which I'm telling you guys, if we were to get a Terrifier house, I will be moving to Universal for the time being, August 29th until November 3rd, the last day of it. I will be moving into the Terrifier house. You can find me there. Joking aside, but I would literally fucking cry, die, shit myself, and come back because y'all know how much I love Terrifier, and that would be crazy to see art at HHN. Let's take a minute to manifest that, guys. Okay, we did it. We manifested it. Secondly, The Thing would be out of this world, no pun intended. I would love to see it. I know that they did the remake Thing House. I heard that was pretty gnarly, but how could you not want to take the opportunity to bring The Thing to life? Like, oh my God. Just talking about it puts a huge smile on my face. I did see some wrestling rumors. I don't think that they're going to go heavy on the Universal Monsters this year because Epic Universe is opening, which is super exciting. But as you know, I will keep you posted with updates, all that fun stuff. I want to do a little bit more personal content, or excuse me, Pretty Killer podcast content from Universal, even though like when we go, it's usually a vacation for the fam, but I would like to do a specific night homing in on HHN specifically. I will be returning to Dark Nights to bring you new houses, foods, all that fun stuff. And I might be joined by some guests this year. I don't know if y'all want to take a guess who they could be, but that's potentially in the works. And what else is going on this year? No like set plans, but just know that we're going to be shaking and moving. We're going to be evolving. We're going to be, letting everyone know that Pretty Killer, let's say, Horror Hub is your safe place where you can come in and you can say that you outwardly hated, long legs. You loved night swim. You know what I mean? Like this place is, I want people to be able to come in here and speak freely and have opinions and voice the things that they love, voice the things that they don't like without feeling like they're going to be attacked for their opinions. This is a safe space in every single regard for you guys listening. I don't want to get into politics, but just know that I am here and this is a safe space. So, lovingly, with that being said, if you did tune in to check out this little snippet of episode, I love you and I appreciate you. But please keep your eyes open for future episodes coming out. I am doing a collaboration with Ian Van Gool, and we are going to talk found footage, which I'm truly, truly excited about. And I have some other collabs coming out, so you'll just have to wait and see who that is. Not like it's anyone of the famous nature, not like it's anyone of a potential, band that I love from the 90s, early 2000s. Anyway, and also, too, if you know me, you know that I'm also involved with the Terrifying 3 pod, which is my good friends Mark Loves Horror and Macabre Maddie. We have rebranded and we have already officially kicked off 2025. So keep your eyes open for the new content we have coming out. And I am also part of Feature Creature CTF with my horror BFF, who am I even kidding? Not even horror BFF, my BFF, Sam. And we are just creating our content like we normally do. So follow me on those platforms. If you haven't already, go show them love on their individual pages. It's all love here. That's all that we want is happiness, horror, and everything else that comes with it. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I love you all, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Drink water, be nice to each other. See you guys next time.